Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking it out. I have a pretty cool thing to show off today. Those who may not know me that well and only see my videos might think I'm all about Dune games because that's most of what my stuff is. However, I am a really big Star Wars fan, and one of my favorite Star Wars games of late, or of any time really, has been Star Wars Outer Rim. This thing is really cool. Basically, instead of playing the usual Star Wars stuff where you're the rebels taking on the Empire, that kind of stuff, the grand, galactic civil war. In this, you're just playing as a smuggler trying to make your way, make some bucks, keep your ship flying. It's almost more of a Firefly kind of feel to it. And some people have compared the game of Outer Rim to kind of a trimmed down version of Firefly, the board game. That being said, they came out with an expansion for this about a year or two ago called Unfinished Business. And it added some stuff to the game that was really kind of needed to make the game feel complete. But at this point, it seems like they're probably finished over at Fantasy Flight Asmodee with the game. There has been no more announcements of anything coming for it. The game does more or less feel complete as is, but we could always use more expansions. And there's a few things that are kind of glaring that feel like an expansion might have been planned, but never happened. However, that's not to say that the fans can't make some cool expansions, and that's what's happened with what I've got to show you today. It is Hotshots, which is the new expansion, well, sort of new, made by a fan named Captain Kiwi, and some other people too worked on it. You can get this from Etsy, which is where I bought this. It was shipped to me from Poland. Technically, my wife bought it for me for Christmas. But it comes with new board sections, new tokens, new characters, a rule book, obviously, and a whole bunch of new cards. We're going to get into the whole unboxing here in a second. Speaking of boxes, if you're really into boxes, you can purchase it from Etsy from the seller with a box that makes it look like a real official expansion. It's a very nice box. The problem was it was being shipped from Poland, so the box added about 20 bucks to the cost, and then the shipping cost blew up exponentially at that point. So because I tend to put most of my stuff in the original box if I can and kind of keep it combined, I kind of decided, let's forego the box and let's just get the game itself, because it's not super cheap. I mean, it's about $70 or so to get this shipped. But anyway, let's get to the table and check it out, and I can't wait to show it off. Okay, so first off, it does come with its own little full-color rule book here, kind of half-sized of the other manuals that the game has, the actual official expansions, but it does tell you on nice glossy color pages what all's in here, how to play, kind of the new rules that they've added for it with the new deck, the event deck, and the garrisons and stuff like that, which I'll explain momentarily. But yeah, it's just a little 6-7 page rule book, full color front and back with a nice picture of the Outrider there on the cover, and then so it's a fold open cover like this. So anyway, moving on, you do get 2 new map pieces. They'll attach to the end of the board. I'll show it what it looks like here after I get everything else shown. It starts with Dathomir and Yavin 4, and then the other section is Scarif and an asteroid field, and or an asteroid cluster. Sorry, that's another nav deck that you have to go through on that one. Again, I'll show you that shortly. And then you get a whole bunch of new tokens. There's the failure tokens, which, reading over the rule, that's something that happens with the event deck. If you happen to have a failure happen, then you put the token on your ship, and your ship can only move 1 space until you spend like 2,000 on a planet location to repair it. So it's an optional rule. You don't have to use that. There are new contacts. We'll say this, compare the contact tokens with the old ones and the new ones to see what the color is like on them. So we have 2 new white contacts. Here's the back side, the front side. Unkar's Thugs and Eden Vril. And then the green contacts, we have Jan Ors, which goes along with Dark Forces Jedi Knight, Kyle Katarn, which he's in here. We'll show that in a second. And then this character Quiggled here. And then the 2 really cool ones. We're getting, oops, zooming in here. We got Mara Jade, which is awesome. Got her in there as a contact now. And Kira from Solo. So she's the other yellow contact. So comparing the contacts, so yellow to yellow here, there is a slight texture difference on them. Nothing really major, but these are smooth. The new ones are smooth. The old ones have kind of that linen finish to it. And then on the back, it's hard to tell on the camera here, but there's just a very slight color difference. Nothing major. But if you're really looking for it, you could tell a difference. But unless you're shining a really bright light right on the table, it shouldn't be a major difference. If you find it to be a problem, you can probably just keep the contacts in a separate little grab bag and put them on the table as you find them, instead of leaving them face down to begin with. But let's go ahead and compare all the colors here. So here's the green and the green. Oops, let me turn that over. There we go. This is the new one in my left hand. This is the old one in my right hand. So as I said, there's a slight color variance, but nothing really major. And then here's the white ones. And the right hand is still the original game with that linen finish. And then the new one has the smooth finish. But again, the color is very close. I mean, they did a really good job matching it, and even the edges are very similar. So there's not really a big difference on the way the edges look. These are all laser cut. You don't have to punch them out or anything. They were laser cut. So that's one thing about it. He does put a note in there. I'll show you the note real quick in the bag that says that with the laser cut stuff, he's advising that you wipe them with a dry cloth to get the soot off, and that the smoke smell will be gone in a few days. I haven't noticed any kind of smoke smell on them myself, but there was some soot on the edges and a little bit on the face, but nothing major. But I just kind of wiped them off, and now they're perfectly fine. So that's the contact tokens, and again, that's the only thing that really would stand out, except for the cards. But as long as you sleeve your cards, which I need to do anyway, you shouldn't be able to tell a difference on those. Let me separate these out. There we go. Okay. Moving on, one of the new things they have in the game is they have garrisons, which will be optional encounter pieces, just like the traveling patrols, except they stay on the planet of their faction. So like rebels would stay on Mon Calamari or Ryloth, Empire would be on Naboo, or I forget which one they're on over there, but anyway, I can't see it from here. But anyway, there's also ones for the Pikes and for the Huts, or for the Syndicates and for the Huts. So each one has their own contact token, or sorry, garrison token that you fight, just like you fight the ships in the game. So the rebels have 3 levels of enemy. So you have the rebel fleet troopers, or standard rebel soldiers, with a strength of 2 and a 5,000 reward for taking them out. And then you have the like rebel commando types here for 10,000 with a strength of 3. And then interestingly, the level 3 one, which is the highest level, is the crew of the Ghost with a victory point and a 5 strength. But yeah, if you see on there, it's hard to zoom in and get it enough, but you can see it's the crew of the Ghost there. And then the Empire has their own 3 levels too. They have a Stormtrooper garrison, of course, for 5,000. And they have a Death Trooper garrison for 10,000 reward. And they have Royal Guard platoon for the 5 strength, 1 victory point reward. And then the Huts, doesn't specifically say what they are, they're just kind of thugs, but they only have 2 levels. So they have their 5,000 level, or 5,000 credit reward level generic folks hang out in Jabba's lair. You got Jabba over there on the side, just kind of a picture of the Jabba's throne room there. And then this one would be more of like bounty hunters types, because you've got like a Rodian, and you've got an IG droid back there, and a Trandoshan. So they only have 2 levels for the syndicates in the huts, and the syndicate ones are these 2, which is those pike guys from Solo, and interestingly, an HK assassin droid, which is pretty cool for their highest level. So that's all the garrisons, and again, they're an optional rule, but they just get placed on the planets that have those loyalties on the planets. So it's just a little extra stuff you have to deal with if you have negative reputation with the planet, with whoever runs the planet. So let's see, we have the new pilots, the new characters. We have Liana Kor, we have Talon Card, if you're familiar with Heir to the Empire. Dash Rendar, if you, Shadows of the Empire. Maul is finally in the game, which is cool. Unkar Plutt. Interesting, no special rule about a quarter portion or anything. Sidon Athano, that was the guy that was like leading the ship that Finn was going to go off in or something, I think, in like 3 seconds of Force Awakens. And then Kyle Katarn, and this one's really interesting because the rest of them, as every other character does in Outer Rim, they have their personal goal, and you complete the personal goal, and then you get like a new ability, right? In the back of the card, kind of gets like a brown tone to it instead of the silver tone. So you know, they'll get a little better something, you know, when they complete their personal goal. Okay. The cool thing with Kyle is, starts off with this thing, and it says have a positive rebel reputation and a negative imperial reputation to gain a fame, and then flip the card. And you flip the card, and now he's better at ground combat because he's now become a Jedi, just like in the video game. And the cool thing about that is we get new standees for the characters, just like in the regular game. So there's Maul, Dash, Unkar, Talon, Sidon, Liana, and then we have Kyle Katarn here before he levels up. And then one that you change to after he levels up, so you get him with his saber. So that's kind of cool. Nice little detail added in there. They didn't have to do that, but it makes it cool that they did. There are new ships, of course, and it's good they had Kyle Katarn in here since they had his ship in the base game, but or in the in the original game, the official game, but never had him in there as a pilot. It was kind of weird. So. The new ships are the Action 6 Transport, which is the wild card, Talon card ship. Everybody basically gets their own ship, is what they're supposed to have. So the Quad Jumper becomes the Stowaway, that I believe is Unkar's ship. The Sith Infiltrator, obviously Maul's, and it becomes the Scimitar. The Corellian Star Shuttle, as seen in Episode 1. And that becomes the Maison Martinet. I believe that's Sidon's ship. And then the Corellian YT-2400 of Dash Rendar's, and it becomes the Outrider when it levels up. And then the cards, I'm not going to go through all the card faces and everything because I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's enough cards in here for the equal the base game. So if you're playing with the expansion, the decks are going to be about half size, and that's okay. But it's the what's about 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, 10 cards for the Scarif and the Imperial Checkpoint. Oh, it's the Imperial Checkpoint, not an asteroid cluster, my mistake. And then Dathomir and Yavin 4. It also tells you, just like on the other cards, what's likely to happen when you go to these locations. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again with those. And then we have the Nav cluster. And just to show the card quality here, again, as I was saying, you probably want to sleeve these. Now these don't matter because they're their own decks, right? So they're not going to be shuffled in with anything else anyway. There are no other planet cards in here, but there are new cards for ships, items, bounties, and jobs. So, and the numbered deck. So to compare it, this is the nav point card. This is the material, that same linen finish from the base game. And then these have the smoother, glossy finish. Well, not even glossy, but the smoother, kind of standard playing card feel. They're still very very thick cards. It's the same basic thickness. It's just that this one has the linen and this one doesn't. So there is a textural feel difference to the cards. But that's the asteroid cluster, and then we have the new items. I'm just going to go through this real quick. You can stop it and look at them if you want to. Ewok fur, nice. Okay, and then the ship cards are the ones for the ships that I've already showed you. And that's one of the occasions where the smooth back, you'd probably want to have your cards sleeved for that. 3 new bounties for Mara, Kira, and Jan Ors. More jobs. I'm not going to go through these because, I mean, if you really want to pause it, you can and look at it, but I don't want to have spoilers or anything, so I'm not going to stop on these. So it's just more jobs for the job deck. No luxury items in this set. And then, I'll get to the other deck in a second, and then you have the new 91 and 92s and 90s, which are the starter cards. They've added more of those cards, so again, the texture issue could be, a problem, so you may want to sleeve your cards if you're going to use this. And then there's these E cards that are related to the new jobs, so these don't shuffle in with anything else. So again, the texture is not an issue for these. So it's really just the item decks and the story card decks is what you'd want to have sleeved if you absolutely had to. But as I said, I'm going to sleeve all of it anyway. The other set of cards is new. This is the event deck. Another optional way to play. After you hit 4 spaces on your flight of your turn, if you've moved 4 spaces or more, once you get to that 4th space, you have to flip up an event card, and it tells you something that happens. Some of them are, basically nothing happens, keep flying. Other ones are problems. They kind of remind me of, if you've played the Firefly board game, the sector cards for that when you're traveling. It's like, keep flying, and then, breakdown or something like that. So it's a little bit more story than that, but, various things you can do that you can have affect you. But again, these are optional. You don't have to have these. I want to go ahead and put the board all together so you can see the whole thing with that. So give me a moment to pause, and we will come right back. So I actually had to lift the camera up and use it by hand. So my light fixture's there in the way. I apologize, little feet of it. But you can see the board is now much more close to being a full circle. It's almost 2/3 complete. The Dathomir section has been added here, as you can see. And you can see the pieces, they jigsaw in perfectly fine with each other. I mean, there is, again, that linen finish versus the printed finish. You can tell the difference there in the reflected light. But they fit perfectly fine. They're almost flush with each other. It's so close you wouldn't be able to tell. And then the other, this is with the expansions, so the core worlds sections are in place there. And same thing with this. Scarif is over here, the core worlds, and it blends over into Nebu and on over. So I think I may have had that one on backwards, actually. Oh, no, I didn't. It just, there's a little bit of a disjointed there for Nebu to connect to that. So I don't know if that was, maybe I got those backwards from what they want them to be. I don't know. But either way, you can tell that's where that goes. It's just off by a fraction. So you can always line these up however you want. I don't know if that's where they intended this one to be or not. Since that's an Imperial world, they may have wanted it on the other side of the board. So, but either way, you can see what it looks like. But that is, in a nutshell, the new, new to me, Outer Rim Hotshots expansion. Again, created by Captain Kiwi. And, was it Captain? What is it? I can't read his name. I'll make sure he gets the proper credit here. Yeah, Captain Kiwi. And then other people worked on it too. They don't have his actual name in here. Now, there are other people's names in the back. I want to make sure credit is given what credit's due. These are all the people that donated to it or did play testing or whatnot. So make sure they get their proper credit. Some of them have their real names, some don't. And then here's the other page of credits here. But again, it's really cool. I don't know if we're ever going to get another expansion for this game from Fantasy Flight Asmodee. So it's pretty cool that we got this from this fan. As I said, I had to get it on Etsy, and it was imported from Poland. It took a couple weeks, but no big deal. That was around Christmas time too, so that was probably causing the slower shipment anyway. But the guy packed it incredibly well, super safe, perfect packing, and I'm really looking forward to getting this thing played. So anyway, back in a minute with my final thoughts. Okay, so that was it. That was Outer Rim Hotshots. That was the new expansion done by Captain Kiwi, a fan of the game. Obviously, it's not a licensed product or anything like that, but it looks really good. I mean, it looks official, with a few exceptions of the fact that the card stock is a little different from the card stock that Fantasy Flight uses. And the only real gameplay affecting thing, because I mean, like I said in the unboxing, just get sleeves. You know, just get sleeves for the cards and you'll be fine. I need to sleeve this anyway, so now I have a perfect excuse. The only real gameplay issue that I could see would be the tokens, as the coloration is a little different on them, and they've got the black edges to them, where they were laser cut from foam core or whatever he used for that, as opposed to the cardboard, which has that kind of grayish color to it. So if you're really looking at the board, you can tell there is a difference between the yellow contacts that are the official ones and the yellow contacts that are the Hotshots expansion, or the white or the green ones, you know, the contacts from that expansion. There's only 6 of them, 2 of each color, white, green, and yellow. But, you know, because of that, you can kind of tell, well, there's 2 yellow contacts that don't match the other ones, and one of them's got to be Kira, right? So I think a way around that might be to, instead of putting them on the board to start with, maybe have like 3 little bags or something for each, you know, color contact. You know, the orange ones can probably sit out because, you know, the orange ones from Unfinished Business can sit on the board because there's not a problem of leaving them out anyway, as there's nothing that mixes with the colors from that with this game, with this expansion. But maybe if there was I may have to try it and report back, but if there was a little separate bag, like a Crown Royal bag or something for each of the 3 colors, and as you went to a location, you pulled the token from the bag and then placed it face up, revealed. I can't think of too many reasons why that wouldn't work. So instead of just having them face down, you just reveal them. And if somebody has a reveal a face down token ability, then they can put it back. Maybe at that point, you know, it gets revealed, or they even make a note. Obviously, that's kind of a pain in the backside for that, if they have to make a note as to who they saw where, and that does depend on the honor system. So there's a little bit of issue with the mismatched colors, the slight color variation between the contact tokens between the official game and the Hotshots expansion. But that's a very minor thing, and it's really only a huge issue if you're running bounties anyway. Otherwise, it's just, you know, yeah, you might have an idea of who the contact is at a location. You still have to get there, and they still have to, you know, whether they're even worthy of you picking them up or not, if that is part of your game plan. But anyway, that all said, I think it's a really cool expansion. It was desperately needed to me for them to add Kyle Katarn to the game, because you already had his ship, the Moldy Crow, in the regular game, and you didn't have him, which is really, really weird. That his ship was in there, but he wasn't. So I really like the fact that he was included. That felt like something that was definitely missing from the game to begin with. And also the fact that it's kind of a cool touch that when he levels up, you know, completes his personal goal, and his card flips over and levels up to the next, you know, the better version of himself. It's the Jedi, Kyle Katarn. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. I like that. But yeah, it's super awesome. I can't wait to get to the table and actually play it. But just looking at it and kind of thumbing through the cards, it seems like it's going to be pretty well balanced. I didn't see anything that stuck out as being too out of sorts. But anyway, let me know if you're going to get this after seeing this. I'd love to know if that's appealed to anybody. That'd be kind of nice to know that I could help this guy out, draw some, you know, send some sales, send some business his way for his expansion that he put together, him and these other fans. As I said, it was Captain Kiwi and some others that I mentioned again during the unboxing. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if you're interested in getting this expansion, if this looks cool to you. Do you think Fantasy Flight needs to do more expansions for Outer Rim? Is it complete as it is? Let me know what you think, and I look forward to hearing from you, and see you on the next video.